Good evening, Mitchell Smith. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks a lot for talking to Bayloric TV.
Don't be silly, mate. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, I need to get straight into it. I'm a fan of senior five fights. That last fight you had where you threw that right hand and dropped that geezer. Very good. Very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, it was a good punch, yeah.
So, I want to know a little bit more about you because you've only had 5 fights as a pro.
6.
6 now. Okay.
6.
So tell us about your amateur career.
I boxed at Harrow Amateur Boxing Club up until I was about 14, I think. And then I moved to Bushy Amateur Boxing Club when I started winning titles. I just won a couple of junior titles. I think 2 NABCs, junior ABAs. And I won a medal at the Three Nations. And yeah, no, I done well at Bushy Boxing Club. They're a decent club. My dad's mate Danny Shinkwin trained me. And then I moved to Welwyn Garden City to go into the senior ABAs. I had a bit of a disagreement with Danny. He thought I was too young to go in the senior ABAs, which is he was looking out for my health more than anything. And I went in and won him for Welwyn Garden City. Then went and boxed for England against Ireland. And then just turned pro. I just got bored of the amateur game. I didn't feel like there was anything to progress on, and yeah, I just went pro.
So things such as like the Olympics or the World Championships, was that?
I mean they had their man, that Luke Campbell, good fighter, but they had him already sort of picked to go, and which sort of didn't give me a chance to go forward for an Olympic Games, or I'd have to wait around to go to the Worlds, which is I think next year. So I'd have been waiting around years to sort of try and crack through on it. And I don't know. I wanted to strive for something else, and there was nothing there at the time. Some people might say I'm a little bit too eager, but I wanted it. I wanted to go pro there and then, so I just went and done it.
Well, some people would say or ask the question, will he turn pro? Because really in the pro game there's money to be made. Is that the case, or the case that sponsorship wasn't as much as it could have been as an amateur, or?
I only had one sponsor as an amateur that helped me out, a woman called Debbie. She helped me out for a long time. She's still helping me out now, funny enough.
Right.
But yeah, I suppose there might have been, because I've never worked, so I needed, boxing now is my job, as well as obviously I love it. I love the game to bits, but it's my job now as well. But it weren't all to do with money. It was more to do with just striving for something else. I've always wanted to be a winner, and there was nothing for me to win in amateurs. For obviously waiting around another year for the ABAs, which is a long time. So I just went pro and just wanted to get the ball rolling in the pro game, really.
So in the amateurs, I am very interested about the amateurs because the amount of guys I've spoken to about boxing, and they talk about the people they faced. I mean, is there anybody that today that's boxing as a pro that's a little bit ahead of you that you may have boxed as an amateur?
No, I don't think there is. Funny enough,
nobody at all. No.
What, there's ahead of me in the...
Yeah.
Nah.
That maybe you sparred with before, like cross paths, and that person went on, and like Luke Campbell you mentioned, for example. Did you ever get to spar with Luke Campbell and move around with him?
Nah.
So even that didn't happen. So that was...
I never really got a chance. I boxed a lot. I had 57, 58 contests as an amateur.
Right.
But none of them have gone on to go pro or anything. So, I've obviously just the one that just stepped up and just went for it.
So you have a unique situation here where not a lot of people will have known you from the amateur game, but in terms of that sort of crossroads, I met him in the amateurs and he beat me, like James DeGale, George Groves, for example.
Yeah.
Don't have that sort of rival in that sense, I suppose.
No.
So,
I suppose you could look at not a rival, but Luke Campbell obviously was the one above me, and he obviously, I wouldn't say took my place, but he was up there and I wasn't. So, I mean, but I don't know whether you can really call that a rival. I mean, I suppose he would never have probably heard of me, you know. So, I mean, I don't think you can really call that a rival, you know.
No,
maybe one day in the future, we'll meet, you know. So, you know, I didn't really have any rivals, to be honest with you. I got beat by a lad called George Van Ness for 5 times, I think, in the amateur.
You got beat 5 times by the same guy?
By the same guy, yeah. And I beat him once, which was in a national final where it counted.
Right.
But, no, yeah, I suppose he was my rival really as an amateur, but, I mean, I don't really have any rivals now.
So has he decided to turn pro, or does he just stay an amateur?
He give it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he gave the game up. He weren't a bad fighter, to tell you the truth, but I suppose he just fell out of love with the game.
So, you're super featherweight, right?
I am.
Right, so around you at the moment, have you got your eyes on anybody in the future potentially? Because I've got to ask the question.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm ready, you know. Southern Area title is obviously on the 21st of September, and that's going to put me. Thank you. That's going to put me obviously higher up in the rankings, and I'm just looking to target anyone around, you know, the British level, and it's in the top 10, top 5. If I can start picking off one by one, you know, there's some big fights out there for me, and I'm just looking forward to being in the mix with you know, some of the big names out there, because I believe that I'm capable to be up there with them, even at the stage I'm at now. So I'm just looking forward to just coming through the rankings and yeah, just making a big bomb in the super featherweight division. So
you're going for your 6th bout. So this will be your 7th bout now. You're going to be going forward to face. Who are you facing for the Southern Area title first and foremost?
A lad called Scott Moises. Okay. He had a tough. And funny enough, he knocked out my mate. Funny enough, my mate turned pro and he knocked my mate out. I think he had a bit of a wobbly start to his career. He'd lost a few, and he's just started to sort of turn his career around. He's boxed at the Southern Area before, and he come up he lost on a close decision. And now he's starting to change his. I think he was just thrown in with any old. You know, he was thrown in with some of the big guns quite early,
right? And
where instead of learning his apprenticeship in the pro game, he was thrown in quite deep at an early stage, and now he's starting to turn his career around. You know, he's done it. He's just nicked a few wins off of journeyman, so he's not. You know what I mean? He's not a journeyman. He's some people would look at his record. I think he's had 7, lost 7. Some people would knock him, but what people don't understand is he's obviously going to be a threat. He's changing his career around now, and if he beats me, I can't see it happening, but if he beats me, then it will turn his career right around, and he can move on to something bigger than that. But I've sparred Scott a couple of times. I went down to spar Liam Walsh down in Norwich, and I actually sparred him just before my pro debut, and you know. He knows. Well, I say he knows. He knows what I'm about. He's going to have seen videos of me, and I know sort of what he's about. So it's going to be a good fight. I just don't think that he's got what it takes to beat me. I just think I'm a tougher breed than him, and I'll just be slightly better.
But let's be honest. You're not going to get on here and tell me now. Oh, you know what? I think he could beat me. I think he stands a good chance. He's got a good right hand in him, and if he catches me, I'm a goner. I don't expect you to say that to me. So, of course, being real, you're going to turn around and say to me, you know what, I'm up for it. And, you've got the skills to pay the bills, as they say. So,
no, that's right.
I mean, I want to go back into your name. Babyface Assassin.
That's right.
Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yeah, I've got to live up to it, haven't I? I've got to live up to it.
Yeah, you've set yourself some standards pretty high there, my friend.
I have. But... you've got to. I believe I can do what he done.
So, in terms of in your style, if you were to describe your style in a nutshell, what would you? If you were selling yourself in 10 seconds, what would you describe your style to be?